So Napoleon is going to be important for both the Gripshovers and the Blanchet. So there's a sort of countercurrents that's going along here. The Blanchet ancestors were the plantation sugar plantation, occupiers of the islands Guadeloupe and La Réunion, Bourbon Island, the island of France, off of the coast of Africa. So they're Napoleon's friends in the aristocracy. So they were like best friends. Napoleon had all these wars for and ruled basically Europe for the first 10, 20 years or so. He was going to be the new monarch, put a monarchical face on the fucking revolution. Robespierre killed too many people in his reign of terror, and then Lenin and Stalin kept on their fucking bloody reign of terror. So, basically both of the fucking revolutionaries actually put, sort of revolution, bad taste. You can't be killing so many people, right? You have to stop with it. You have to be able to control, be able to, okay, so anyways, the province of Westphalia is a province of the Kingdom of Prussia and the Free State of Prussia from 1815 to 1946. It was established right after Napoleon. Napoleon created the province of Westphalia, and that's where the Gripshovers are from, up Marsbachol, Munster, Germany, the Black Forest, and the Neanderthal, and Netherlands, and the Lowlands, and so that's where they're from, right? Up Marsbachol is probably right around there. Munster is right around there. And then that's Westphalia, so that's the North Rhine-Westphalia. And Napoleon Bonaparte founded the Kingdom of Westphalia as a client state of the First French Empire, 1807 to 1813. The state shared the only name with the historical region, containing mostly Hessian and Eastphalian regions. So actually, it was only in name only. He just came up with the name, but eventually Westphalia was created after Napoleon Bonaparte was destroyed. But the first, Kingdom of Westphalia was under Napoleon Bonaparte. The first French Empire, 1807 to 1813. So the first French Empire. So I guess the French have tried to become an empire several times afterwards. Which is, that's the, I don't know, actually, that's when Hyacinth Blanchet moves out of Guadeloupe and goes into America. But the state shared only the name with the historical region, containing mostly Hessian and Eastphalian regions, right? Only a small part of the region of Westphalia. Although Prussian had long owned territory in Westphalia, King Frederick William III had preferred to incorporate the Kingdom of Saxony first. It was not until Congress of Vienna in 1815 that the province of Westphalia came into being. The province was formed from several territories. Blah, 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 blah. But the point is, Napoleon Bonaparte is the one that formed it, okay? So Napoleon was friends to the Blanchets, but they was the enemy to the German Gripshovers. The Gripshovers he was oppressing and warring against, and then he occupied them for, 10 or so years. So that would be sort of like what they was doing to the Guadeloupean Islanders, the native Guadeloupean Caribbeans, the Caribs, right? And then the native African people in La Réunion and Mauritius, or the Bourbon Island, and the island of France. So Frederick William III of Prussia, this asshole, I'll just do a quick lowdown with him, because you got the kings and princes, and these are some of the substantial ones. It's actually easier to follow kings and princes and monarchs than it is sort of the one-term Kentucky presidents. They don't have any long, periods, so they only rule for 4 years. What changes can you implement in 4 years? How much continuity is there going to be between one government to the next? And so it's in terms of stable, longitudinal type governments. It doesn't seem that Kentucky would actually have a stable government based upon its history of only having 1 4-year governors, right? So it's not a stable government at all. It's the governor's election coming up. It could be very contentious. People might, if they go with the conservative choice, they'll actually go with whoever Steve Beshear chooses, because they, just to make sure the government carries on the same programs and maintain the order that has been maintained for the last 8 years. So that would be the conservative choice, actually. But if there's going to be a liberal choice, then it could take shape in many different ways. Frederick William III of Prussia, the reason why he's an asshole is he fights Napoleon, but he loses, right? So he's not a very good war general. 1806, the Battle of Jena, he basically is the reason why they fucking lost, and then they created the Prussian industrial education system, which was eventually imported into America, and we have it today. So the Prussians are the reason why America has the totalitarian fascist education system, with the normal schools, the teacher training schools that teaches it's all about obedience and management and shut the fuck up and sit down Then they get into the classroom. They're the dictator. They control all the thing that goes on. No democracy, no choices amongst the people whatsoever. Shut the fuck up. They're the kings. When they say that everybody's got to do something, everybody's got to do it. They all got to do their activities, and it's all about order, manipulation, control, exploitation, slavery. It's all about oppressor and the oppressed, and so it's normalized in America. And then it's also, you know, the totalitarian. It shows that there's going to be ruling classes. There's going to be some people that actually need to talk about these issues and these ideas and sort of think outside the box. So you got to actually educate some of the, you know, ruling classes people. So you got to have a true liberal classical, you know, type of education where people are talking about ideas and theories and they're questioning things. But you also need the Prussian system was very hierarchical. So you need, when you need the ruling class, you also need the soldiers who's going to just follow orders. So you need those strong sort of warrior type. You need artisans and merchants. You know, you need the people who does entertainment, also people who's going to make the wheels and the cars and the, you know, the electricity or whatever, the things that people are necessary. So tradesmen are very important, vocational training, and also kindergarten. So they basically take the kids away from the parents, put them in state schools, and they made them very obedient. So that way, whenever Frederick William III of Prussia ordered them into battle, they would just go into battle to die and not give a shit, because that's what Napoleon troops were doing. But the Prussian troops were actually too smart, sophisticated, and would wander away. They wouldn't want to fight Napoleon, and Napoleon's known to be very strong and shit, and they're not very, you know, organized and strong, so they want to do a more of a Native American type warfare where they're out in the woods kind of popping shots and shit, but not traditional stand in the fucking battlefield with one army on one side and a big ass army on the other side, and say, you know, fight, and just let them, you know, kill each other, as many fucking people as they can. So there was actually, that was the war of the coalitions, was not to engage with Napoleon. So it was actually to kind of let him run roughshod all over the place. So not to engage the fucking big ass army. So he could do whatever, you know, he wanted in any of the countries. And he attacked Prussia and he fucking defeated Frederick William III of Prussia. So, you know, damn, sucks for him. He marries Frederica Louisa of Hesse-Darmstadt. So Hessians, that's a Hessian. So whenever you have the some of the people said that they're Hessians, some of the Gripschover ancestors said that they're Hessians. Kunkels are Hessians. They, you know, probably they knew Frederica Louisa. That's who they were talking about, and so that marriage puts the Hessians and the Prussians together, right? So that's more German unification. So more royal sort of marriages, you know, combined fucking properties and sort of alliances. I don't know. His reign, here's a quote that he said: "Every civil servant has a dual obligation to the sovereign and to the country. It can occur that the two are not compatible, then the duty to the country is higher." So if he says, if you have a duty to Germany or a duty to him, Frederick, you do your duty to Germany more so than to him. So that's actually sort of that's a remarkable omission for a tyrant. The House of Hohenzollern, I had actually identified this as the Prussian. This is the Prussian actually coat of arms, but I said that the one with just a black eagle was Prussian too. So I don't know what the black eagle only actually means. This is the Prussian, you know, coat of arms, right? It has all the other flags together, then it still also has these, you know, these eagles with its tongue sticking out. Frederick William the Fourth, he's a bigger asshole. Okay, so Frederick William the Third, you know, he lost the battle with Napoleon, but it was Napoleon, right? So it's going up against Hitler. He was unprepared, wasn't ready. But now you have his fucking son who's carrying on the House of Hohenzollern. The revolution broke out in Prussia in March 1848. Listen, listen what he does, okay? He's such a dick. All right, so Frederick William IV, okay, he's a king. He initially moved to repress it with the army, right? So you have all this violence and unrest that's happening. France is happening in France. It's kind of happened all over the place. And now that's happening in Berlin. It's happening in all these different regions. You know, people are putting pressure on the Bavarian prince and the king and making all these people, you know, all these royal fucking family, making them hit the road, Jack. So Frederick William IV starts out by wanting to just repress it with violence, just within the army, and just say, fuck it, you know, I'm the boss, I'm the king, you just do as the fuck as I say or I'll kill you. March the 19th, he decided to recall the troops and place himself at the head of the movement. He committed himself to German unification, formed a liberal government, convened a national assembly, and ordered that a constitution be drawn up once his position was more secure again. However, he quickly had the army reoccupy Berlin and in December dissolved the assembly. So, wow, that's amazing. He starts out, you know, hey, we're going to do a republic. Go ahead, start a parliament. We're going to have elections. We're going to do democracy. We're actually going to do democracies. But that's what people in power, tyrants, fucking monarchical fucking assholes, that's what they hate the most is democracy. No, you don't want the people to have a choice. Fuck a democracy. Fuck elections. Elections is the, you know, the hallmark, the biggest characterization to a fucking democracy. So at the very least, if you don't even have an election, you don't even have the semblance of any type of representative government, but at least, you know, you have the choice, and so you could choose a different sort of monarchy the next time. And Kentucky has doing that every 4 years. It's always been somebody new, and I'm not sure if there's a house of anything that's kind of carrying from one governorship to the other governorship. It is a ton of power because it's a federalist by sharing of power, very similar to how Germany is run. It's a federal government, 16 states in all under one federal Germany. So once his position was secure, so basically he puts himself at the head of the revolutionary movement, says, hey, here's a liberal government, here's a National Assembly, now y'all come up with a constitution. They said, here's the constitution, here's this, and then they said, who are we going to ask? Well, let's ask the guy who put it up. Well, let's ask the other king of Austria. Let's just give it to him because he's probably tricking us, and he did, and he was all mad. How dare you sully my good name with the, you know, the dirt of the crown of revolution. So he was all, he said he would not accept the crown from the gutter. Right, so King William IV is our dick. So you have Frederick William III, who fucking lost the battle, no fucking good, and now you have his, you know, prodigy coming up against the fucking revolutions of 1848. The 1848 revolutions of Germany will fail, but the 1918 revolutions will succeed. So we will see, we will learn from this, okay? And there's also German nationalism that comes out of this. And a lot of immigration, a lot of people leave after this shit because it's saying that it's just going to be, you know, monarchy for the rest of the days. No, once the revolutions had failed, it was like, shit, we'll never get our fucking freedom. We'll never actually be able to do anything. So Frederick William would only accept the imperial crown after being elected by the German princes as per the former empire's ancient customs. He expressed this sentiment in a letter to his sister, the Empress Alexandra Feodorovna of Russia, in which he said the Frankfurt Parliament had overlooked that in order to give, you would first of all have to be in possession of something that can be given. Ow! Damn! So he's a stuck-up asshole, right? Oh, how dare you, you know, fucking ask me to be the fucking, you know, monarch of your representative democratic government. Fuck you, I'm a fucking piece of shit, you know, tyrannical bitch. I do as the fuck as I say, and I'm the boss around here, bitch, so you shut the fuck up and do as the fuck as I say. So he's revolutionary, right? He's totally going to make everybody his fucking slave. If you're not a revolutionary, you're going to try to make a slave out of me. This motherfucker's totally anti-revolutionary. He was at the head of the movement. He fucking made a constitution, made a fucking government, you know, a democratic government. And here's the fucking constitution. Just signed the thing. Oh, how dare you? How dare you fucking sully my good name and the good crown with a fucking skank and gutter of revolution. Oh my God. You would have changed history. You would have been the fucking change of history. You would have actually been able to keep your state forever. But instead, you know, it's going to be a fucking oppressive regime, probably ruled by military force, doing the same shit fucking Napoleon was doing, so no difference, right? Just oppression, more and more oppression. The king's refusal was rooted in his romantic aspiration to reestablish the medieval Holy Roman Empire, comprising smaller semi-sovereign monarchies under the limited authority of a Habsburg emperor. So he wanted to bring back the Holy Roman Empire. So he liked the fucking monarchy, but he didn't like to be elected to it because he wanted to be, he was chosen by God, right? Therefore, Frederick William IV would only accept the imperial crown after being elected by the German princes as per the former empire's ancient customs. So they're elected by German princes. So there's elections that's actually going on. So there's actually is some democratic processes. He expressed this sentiment in a letter to his sister, the Empress Alexandra Feodorovna of Russia, in which he said that the Frankfurt Parliament had overlooked that in order to give, you'd have first of all had to be in possession of something that could be given in the king's eyes. Only a reconstituted college of electors could possess such an authority. A reconstituted college of electors. So only if you can get a college of electors, whatever. With the failed attempt by the Frankfurt Parliament to include the Habsburg into a newly unified German Empire, the Parliament turned to Prussia. Seeing Austrian ambivalence towards Prussia taking a more powerful role in German affairs, Frederick William began considering a Prussian-led union. All German states, excluding those of the Habsburgs, would be unified under Hohenzollern authority, and these two polities would be linked in an overarching political framework. Frederick William therefore did attempt to establish the First union of the German states, except for Austria, but abandoned the idea by the punctation of Olmütz in November 29, 1850, in the face of renewed Austrian and Russian resistance. The German Confederation remained the common government of German Europe. Rather than return to bureaucratic rule, dismissing the Prussian National Assembly, Frederick William promulgated a new constitution that created the Parliament of Prussia with 2 chambers, aristocratic upper house,